Okay, so just some important information about when you're looking at a three-dimensional shape to see if it's a prism or if it's not a prism. The bottom line, when you think about this, is a prism's a box, and it needs to have a top and a bottom called bases, meaning that you could take this box and set it on the ground, and it would stand straight up in the air, and the top and the bottom would be the exact same shape. So sometimes it's really easy. So if you look at this first, I'm going to number these 1, 2, and 3. If you look at this first one, clearly that's a box. And the way that it's sitting is perfectly fine. The bottom could be, the bottom is this side, the top is that side. That's perfectly fine. You could also twist that box all around, and any of the sides could be a top and a bottom because they have to be, if you look at this next part, they have to be the exact same shape. Sorry, they have to be the exact same shape, and then they have to have rectangles connecting them. So it's a little bit weird to look at at first, but I'm going to show you some more stuff. So let's take the second one here. If you look down at this statement, it says a cube is a prism with all squares as faces, so every dimension is the same. This is supposed to be an example of a cube. Again, top and bottom, they could be this and this, or you could turn that cube any way you want, and the sides could be tops and bottoms. Because I thought this was written in here, but I don't see it. So I'm going to write it over on the side. The bases have to be two identical shapes that are parallel. Okay, like a literal top and bottom. So if you set that box there, and if you flipped it over the other way, it would look exactly the same. There's lots of ways to look at it. And where it's going to start to show different is in number 3 here. This is called a triangular. Let me spell it right. Triangular prism. Now, it looks like a triangle. It kind of looks like a tent or lots of different things. There's a candy bar called a Toblerone, I think, that comes in a triangle box like this. If you've ever seen one before. And again, now with this, the top and the bottom of this box, the bases, and I'm putting air quotes around that as I'm talking here, the bases are going to have to be the triangles because they have to be identical and they have to be parallel to each other. So what you would do with this is you would imagine or draw this box standing straight up. That's not a good drawing. The issue with these three-dimensional things is you have to be careful with how you draw them. Draw the top first. So there's the top of it, and then it would come down, and then it would have that. So there it is standing straight up in the air, showing why the bases would have to be this and this. The last little piece to these prisms is that they've got to have a height, and we've got to make sure that we can pick the height out. So just to go back to my 3 examples here, for this number 1, the height would be obviously that right there. That would be the height with the bases that we have. With this right here, that would be the height. With this triangular prism, it needs to be the distance between the bases. So that would be the height. Again, we're going to imagine that thing standing up because it would be that side right there. So we've got to be really careful when we're picking out the dimensions and the bases of these things as we go down through. But the most important thing is that when you're looking at these, because this file and the Schoology quiz that goes along with it is just going to ask you for the names of stuff, really. Prism is a box. They could have other shapes. They could be a hexagon box, an octagon box, whatever kind of a box you want, as long as the top and the bottom are exactly the same.